Hi, I'm nan0wav, Ryan, either one, doesn't matter. And the day this video comes out, this Minecraft survival world will turn 2 years old. And I figured today might be a good day to do a little tour of it and show it off to people, I guess. So this is the world spawn. I just have a little like respawn center here with ender chests and whatnot. So if I die, I can just hop in here and open up my toolbox and grab the spare gear that I need. Yeah, everything that I've built is off in that direction, as you can see in the distance already. Let's start at the house. So here we are at the house. This was the very first thing that I built in this world, so it's probably like the least visually appealing, I would say, other than maybe the mob farm, but we'll get to that later. Yeah, it's just like my central storage, where I keep my unbelievable amounts of diamonds. And yeah, up here, you know, bedroom, we have music, but I'm not going to play it because I'm playing music in the background of this video. I'm only missing one disc right now, and it's the red one, Chirp. I just need to like actually buckle down and go out at night and get a skeleton to kill a creeper, but I do have Pig Step, I do have Other Side, I have everything else, and then a bunch of extras. Oh yeah, this lever. This is really more of a fun thing than anything. In most of the buildings, I have like at least one redstone device that just is for fun. So this one will make a waterfall go down so I can ride a boat off of this balcony and into the water and then go out to sea from there. It's pretty cool. You know what, let's just do that. Whee! Oh, awesome, and now my boat is glitching into the ground. That sucks. I guess we can go to the observatory next then. Yeah, this is the observatory. This is one of the first builds that I did. There's nothing in it. I just think it looks really nice on the coastline, and it has blackout windows because I built this before tinted glass was added. And light does still leak in through the door, but nobody really cares. Over here we have the lighthouse. This was the second build that I did after the house. I think I built the house, then the lighthouse, then the mob farm, and then the observatory. Oh, and like the nether portal building, but we'll get there. Yeah, again, there's nothing in here. It just looks nice. Upstairs we have like an actual little lamp that looks like it's spinning, just with some observers that are eternally powering each other. And over here we have the mob farm. Oh, the sun's setting. It's just your basic mob farm, nothing special. It is picked clean of all of its gunpowder right now because I just take as much gunpowder as I want and turn it all into fireworks. We have an on-off switch for it because it is redstone powered. It's going to be kind of hard to see. Oh man, I hear mobs in there. But there are trapdoors that will open and close on a redstone clock, as you saw there, and periodically they'll flush mobs into the center tube. What a great view of a lot of the things that I've built. Next up, we'll go over there, I suppose. Oh wait, I didn't finish off showing off the house. You hear note blocks. Again, we'll get there later. Up in the tower... Oh yeah, I have a little aquarium up here. It's pretty nice. Up here we have a map of my full area. So we are here in the house right now. We just went and visited the observatory, the lighthouse, and the mob farm. And we came from all the way up here. I don't know if you can see that one blue pixel. My crosshair is right on it. But that's the world spawn. I don't have it labeled because I think it would go off the map if I put a banner there. But yeah, we're gonna visit all this stuff eventually. And upstairs more. Nothing up here. This bee has been stuck up here for at least a year. I'll say that. Yeah, we have a nice little enchanting room, and you got a decent view of everything from up here. And right here we have like a little log where I keep track of things that I'm doing. So, this world was created on April 26th, 2020. You know what, let's write a new entry. I'm writing this the day before my world's second year birthday. April 24th, 2022. Tomorrow, this world turns 2 years old. I'm currently recording a YouTube video to show off what I've done in the past 2 years. And it's just little logs like that I record once every month or so. That's most of the house. We do have the basement to get to. The basement is kind of a disgusting mess right now. I have two sets of note blocks. This one plays every day in the morning, and this song is "Morning" by Andrew Prallo from the Outer Wilds soundtrack. I will say, I'm playing this on a crappy little MacBook, so, like, redstone will speed up and slow down periodically, and it doesn't sound as good as it would when I'm not recording. Hello, this is Edmund. He was just, like, wandering around this staircase for a really long time, so I stuck him in a boat and named him. And then this plays every night at sunset, right when I can go to bed. And it's an excerpt from My Castle Town by Toby Fox from the Deltarune Chapter 2 soundtrack. Yeah, so a nice little lullaby to put me to bed, I guess. And then we get down to the actual basement. Those are just under the house. Oh yeah, and I have a fancy little bubble elevator here. When I step on this pressure plate, it switches to soul sand and pushes me back up. At the beginning of this year, I decided to start taking down a map every New Year's Day, just so I can have like a side-by-side progress to see how my area has updated. So you'll notice that the stuff down here is absent, there's a big building right here that's absent, and then there's the railway that goes down that way that we're missing. So I've done a little bit this year, but the projects that I've worked on, while they may not look big on the map, they are pretty big in scale. For a while I was keeping villagers in this area, but I eventually moved them out into a different area. So there's like kind of remnants of a living space. Like it was full of beds and there were workstations everywhere. But I moved them into a better place. Here we have a hallway that's like a bunch of micro farms that I tried to design myself. So we have bees, dripstone, sugarcane, bamboo. The bamboo one is going crazy, even though it is pretty lossy because the pistons will push the bamboo and it won't go far enough to reach the hoppers. Because I want everything to be visible and still have the barrel here. Which one is this? I think this is weeping vines? Yep, weeping vines, twisted vines, melons and pumpkins. And the melons and pumpkins are closest to the new villager area, the Glass Valley, which is completely 100% mob safe. So it's just this big valley that I found. It was like covered on 3 sides, and I just had to build this little wall to completely seal it in, put glass in, and add a couple buildings. So we have a nice tower here full of beds and workstations. If I can get downstairs, maybe. And then farms for the villagers, bells, you know, classic village stuff. And then at some point there was a spot in here. It was like right here. The villagers would get stuck here, and then they wouldn't be able to find their workstation and their bed, and then because the bed was unoccupied, the villagers would make more villagers, and I ended up with like so many villagers in this place. And I built this building as an extra living space, and now this building has caused the same problem where villagers will just be up here and they don't know that they can get downstairs, so they just keep making more villagers. So eventually I came up with a solution to the problem. It's not much of a solution. I have to come down here every once in a while to take care of it, but I opened the happy fun time door, and villagers that don't have a job, I said, will see this cauldron on the other side and think that they can walk over the trapdoors, but they can't, and they fall in and they die. A little bit morbid, but you know, it keeps the population low and my lag not as bad. So let's continue out of the Glass Valley, head over here to the farming district. Once again, we have a relic of a past time. This little sheep farm. Yeah, I don't need a sheep farm anymore, but I've just left it here because it looks nice. Have a cute little contraption where after I bred up the sheep, I would hit this button, and this lamp will stay on for 5 minutes because it's based on an item despawning. And then once that lamp goes off, I know I have to come back and breed the sheep again. A little automatic cactus farm that I can turn off. And eventually, minecart hopper will come up here, and I can take the cactus out. Pumpkins, wheat. Of course, recently harvested this because I'm just gathering emeralds. A little composter setup. There's no bone meal in here. And over here, this is the most recent addition to my world. I just finished this yesterday. It's a big minecart track where I can deliver bone meal. I can deliver bone meal over here to the farming district, which is where I'm probably going to need it most. And eventually I might start adding like micro farms and stuff and little buildings like these, so I can actually use the bone meal over here. Here we have an automatic sheep farm. There's 1 sheep of every color, generating wool. And yeah, I'm very proud of this build. This was another recent one that I built this year. So yeah, it's like all these banners that show you what colors are in what places. You can just come in here, pick up as much wool as you need. And upstairs, we have a nice little, like, rainbow dome. And I can see all the stuff around me. It's a pretty cool build. I like this one. And then behind, you can access behind the scenes really easily, replace the shears if you need to. Now, you'll notice that this is completely full of shears, and there are 16 dispensers, all of which are full of shears. So that took a lot of iron. So right before I built this, I built an iron farm. I will say, unlike most of the other builds in this world, this is not my design. I copied this design. I'll have to find who to credit for it. But it was just really simple. I just needed to slab out the area and try to make it look decent. This is another one of my ugly builds. Oh, we have an iron golem dying right in front of our eyes. That's crazy. Anyway, yeah, just plenty of iron and poppies, and I'll regularly take out the poppies. Next up, the Caves and Cliffs Museum. When 1.17 came out, I wanted to, like, display all of the new features. So, here's all the deep slate ores. Deep slate emerald ore. Pretty rare. Not in 1.17. In 1.18, you never find deep slate emerald or deep slate coal or deep slate copper. Like, those are so rare. In 1.17, they were pretty easy to come by because the ore distribution hadn't been changed yet. I had plans to have goats on display here, glow squids on display here, and one of every kind of axolotl here, but I don't want to go through the effort of wrangling all those mobs, especially the blue axolotl, and then I don't even know how I would get a glow squid up here. That would be a nightmare. So I just never really got around to doing it. Up here, I'm showing off copper in this cute little telescope, and amethyst. I have one bud of every stage, and a dripstone. And then I'm showing off some of the materials from the lush caves. And up at the top, there is nothing. Alright, so funny story. Since I'm on a Mac, I have to use external programs in order to record sound that the computer is making. And as I got to this specific building, my free trial for one of these software things ended, and it said, hey, your sound quality is going to be slightly worse now. I was like, okay, that's fine, I'll just say something about it in the video, and continue recording. So I finished recording, went back to listen to it, and apparently worse audio means that it drowns out, like, all of the audio with static, and, like, it was literally, you couldn't hear anything. So I lost about 30 minutes of footage thanks to that. Anyway, I went ahead and bought a license for it because that's what it wanted me to do. Oh, awesome, now it's raining. Yeah, that suits the mood. That's fine. So yeah, let's continue the tour and let's see if I can remember what I've already done and what is still yet to come. Okay. This is the trophy room. It's where I keep the dragon egg. I show off some of my bling. And I have a little book that says that I beat the Ender Dragon in October of 2020. You know, just enchanted golden apple, wither skull, totem of undying, just minor things. 5 extra pairs of elytra, you know, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Pretty nice building. And we have a beacon, this little obelisk that I built. I did this year, actually. I didn't fight the wither until very recently. And by fight, I mean I suffocated it under the end portal. I'm going to show off the nether portal, which we will go into later. And just some storage for nether-related items. Yeah. That sort of thing. Cows. Lots of cows. That's where all of my food comes from. And a little horse stable. This is another recent build, as you can tell by the copper that is not fully aged. This is a little fishing village and the last galleon. My story behind this is like, oh man, the people that lived in this village used to go out sailing all the time and go on adventures, and eventually, like, the mayor or somebody went out and died tragically or something. And they're like, okay, let's not do that, and they tore down all the ships except one, which just stays in the harbor now. Except for this fella, whoever lives in this house. As you can see, they have an anchor. Not an iron pickaxe, I don't know what you're talking about. They have an anchor hanging up and a buried treasure map. So the spirit of adventure is not completely dead in the village. We have a tavern because, you know, no medieval fishing village is complete without a tavern. And a little living spot for the innkeeper. Very cozy. That was my goal with this village, is to just make very cramped and cozy areas for people to live. So there's lots of fireplaces and that sort of thing. So yeah. I was originally going to have this village go all the way around the harbor and surround the ship, but I ended up not doing that because it all feels the same. Like, I use the same block palette for every single building, except this part of the tavern. And it's like, this is just tiring. I'm tired of building this. So I just kind of stopped. And it's still just a really nice place to hang out. This was a pretty early build, as you can see, because it was built with cobblestone. That's usually a good indication. Super smelter. You put your materials in up here, you put your fuel in down here, and it's distributed by these minecarts and by these minecarts. Now, this isn't the most efficient thing in the world. Using minecarts to distribute this stuff leads to, I don't know why this happens, but you get less coal in the middle than on the outsides. So, kind of weird. Not the most efficient thing in the world, but it's 16 times the regular furnace speed, so I'm happy with it. And beyond that, we have a bone meal farm. This is another thing that is not my design. This is actually Etho's design. I will share a link to a video in which someone covers it in the description. And it's just, I made a couple small modifications, specifically around the item collection. So let's head down there. The original design does not have a hopper there. It just has a hopper minecart underneath everything, and that wasn't working fast enough for me because I tried making this thing go as fast as it could. So there's only like 8 items in this hopper block. So I put a hopper there that not only so that it'll pick up items, but because the items will get stuck there and they won't just get thrown all over the place. And then the original design, or no, this was all me, wasn't it? Instead of having like an item sorter here, I have a triple hopper speed composting setup. And it all ends up in this hopper. This little minecart will come down, pick it up, and deliver it back up to the top. Yeah, up here, there's the actual farm. This is where bone meal storage will be once everything's like fully stocked. There's still a bunch of hoppers that need to be filled up before these chests start filling up. And up here, just a little hangout area. And once this starts filling up, I'm going to be able to put items into here and send it right off. And this is the most recent part of my world. This rail system. Let's see if we can catch that chest come by. Oh, there it is. There it goes. Oh, there's that bug again. It did that last time as well. Just weird and diagonal and sideways. There it goes. It is definitely on the tracks. I don't know if I showed this yet. But I can get right back into the house by just going through this little tunnel, taking a little elevator, and getting launched right here. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. Anyway, that's it for the overworld. Let's head into the nether. So, the nether, I did not go into the nether for a couple months because I started this world while 1.16 snapshots were being developed. And I knew that if I went through the portal in 1.15, I would get this gross 50% old nether, 50% new nether type deal. And it would have been just horrible. So I went without the nether for a couple months. Anyway, netherite mine down there. Just a little storage wall for piglin bartering. Over this way, this just leads out into the main nether. And if you keep following this, you get to a portal that has a village on the other side, where I gathered villagers for my main base area. This way, there's a portal that leads to the middle of nowhere, which I built for the beginning of 1.17, so I had an area where I could mine copper and amethyst, and it leads to another fortress. This way is far more interesting. This brings us to the stronghold and to a mountain biome. The mountain biome is really far out. On the day of 1.18's release, I built this. I spent several hours just grinding out the materials for this tunnel, and I grossly overestimated how much glass I would need. So I ended up with like an extra double chest of glass that I still tap into every once in a while. Anyway, that goes a couple thousand blocks. And I was gonna build like a dwarven city or whatever in the mountain, but I never really got around to it. So that's another project I could do in the future. Let's go into the end. Here we go, the end. Truly a beautiful sight to behold. Let's go this way. Over here we have a staple in late game Minecraft, the Enderman farm. And let me tell you, it took me so long to get the Endermite to behave itself. So yeah, just a place to repair tools and put and enchant stuff, that sort of thing. Pretty nice. And then, as you can see, I have 1 and 2 end gateways. So if there is an end update in the future, I still have directions I can go. I can come back here and fight the dragon again and get some new terrain generating. And that's everything. Isn't that fitting? We end off back where we started. So yeah, that's my world. It's pretty cool. I highly recommend just sitting down and saying, hey, this is going to be my long-term survival world. Because that's what I did. For years and years and years, I just had survival worlds that I would play on for like a week, and then get bored of and delete. I highly recommend that you do this. And only play it on like full releases, no snapshots or anything, so you don't risk any corruption. And just stick with it. It's easier than you think it is. Anyway, I've been your wonderful host, nan0wav. You've been a wonderful audience. So thank you for watching and have a wonderful day.